Welcome to your deep dive. Today, we're diving into something you use every day in the kitchen, but probably don't think too much about.
Hopefully we use this every day.
Right? That's true, haha. But we're talking about cutting boards,
Okay, got it.
and more specifically, how to choose the right one.
Makes sense.
We've got articles, product descriptions, you name it. We've sliced through it all.
Oh, nice.
So you're ready to be a cutting board connoisseur by the end of this.
Let's do it.
All right, so expert speaker, what's the big takeaway? What should our listeners know?
You know, it's interesting because from what I see, the choice really seems to depend on your values. Like what's important to you when you're cooking.
Okay, interesting. So it's more than just practical.
Exactly. We see a lot about sustainability, of course.
Right.
But also, how durable is the board? Will it ruin my good knives? And then there's the aesthetics, like how Instagrammable is this thing?
I never thought of that. So it's like a style statement for your kitchen.
Kind of.
That's wild. Okay, well, let's start with the sustainability angle. It seems like both bamboo and wood are marketed as eco-friendly, but are there differences?
Yeah, definitely. See, bamboo is often promoted because it grows super fast.
Oh, yeah. Like how fast are we talking?
Some types can grow up to 3 feet per day.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's renewable much quicker?
Exactly. They can harvest it in like 3 to 5 years and it's ready to go again.
So that's got to be good for the environment.
Definitely. And it doesn't need much water to grow either, which is a big plus.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything else on the eco-friendly front?
Oh, I almost forgot. Bamboo's amazing for carbon capture too.
Carbon capture.
Yeah, it's like it's sucking carbon dioxide right out of the air.
Wow.
Way more than trees do, like 5 times more. So that's a big win for fighting climate change.
Okay, bamboo is sounding pretty impressive. So where does that leave good old-fashioned wood?
Right, wood's been the go-to for ages, and it's still a solid, eco-friendly option, especially if it's sourced responsibly.
I can see that.
We're talking reclaimed wood, like from old buildings, or wood from sustainably managed forests.
Makes sense.
It might not grow as fast as bamboo, but it's naturally biodegradable.
True. And it can last a long time. I've got my grandmother's old cutting board and it's still going strong.
Exactly. A well-cared-for wood cutting board can last for generations.
So it's like fast and renewable versus durable and long-lasting.
Yeah,
Both good for the planet, just in different ways.
exactly. You got it.
And speaking of durable, you mentioned this whole tough versus forgiving thing earlier. What's that about? Does that mean they have different personalities or something?
Haha, kind of. Bamboo is seriously tough. Like, way denser and harder than a lot of hardwoods.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, it's really resistant to damage and warping, which can be a problem with wood over time.
That's good to know.
Even those deep cuts that can make a wood board look all beat up, bamboo just shrugs them off.
It's like the superhero of cutting boards.
Right. Low maintenance, resilient, just
Yeah.
keeps on going.
But I bet there's a trade-off, right? Like, what's the downside of all that toughness?
Well, you're right. There's always a trade-off. And in this case, that hardness can actually be a bit rough on your knives.
Yeah, so like I was saying, bamboo can dull your knives faster because it's so hard.
Ah, so that's the catch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off.
Makes sense. So where does wood fit into all of this?
Wood, especially the end grain kind, is much more forgiving on your knives.
End grain.
Yeah, it's a specific way of making cutting boards where the wood fibers are facing up.
Huh, I never knew that.
It makes the board super durable, and it's actually easier on your knives.
So it's like a self-healing cutting board, and it protects my knives. Sign me up.
Exactly. The fibers kind of separate when you cut on it, then they close back up, so it doesn't dull the blade as much.
That's incredible. Okay, so for my good knives, wood, especially end grain, is the way to go.
It's definitely something to consider, especially if you've invested in high-quality knives.
Right, because nobody wants to be constantly sharpening their knives.
But with all that care for the knives, does that mean wood cutting boards are higher maintenance?
It's not really about being high maintenance. It's more like understanding what wood needs.
Okay, so what do I need to know?
Well, wood needs to be oiled regularly, like a little spa treatment.
Makes sense. To keep it from drying out.
Exactly. It helps keep the wood from drying out and keeps it water resistant.
Okay, so I shouldn't be letting it soak in the sink.
It's best to avoid that. A quick wash and dry is all you need.
Good to know.
But think of it this way. That little bit of care you're giving the wood, that's what gives it that beautiful patina over time.
You're right. It's like those old, well-loved cutting boards you see that have that gorgeous, worn look.
Exactly. And that patina isn't just pretty to look at. It actually shows how durable and long-lasting the board is.
So it's like a badge of honor for a well-used cutting board.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about eco-friendliness, Durability, maintenance. But what about the looks? How do bamboo and wood compare on style?
Ah, now we're getting into personal preference.
Right, because kitchens are like a design statement these days.
Totally. So bamboo has this modern minimalist vibe, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
It's usually a light color, almost blonde, and it goes with pretty much any kitchen style.
It's like the Scandinavian furniture of the cutting board world.
Haha, I like that.
Minimalist, functional, beautiful. What about wood?
Wood has that warmth, that sense of history, you know?
Yeah, it's classic.
And the grain patterns are always unique. No two boards are exactly alike.
That's true. It's like a fingerprint.
Right. And then there's that patina we talked about, which adds even more character as it ages.
It's like choosing between a sleek, modern coffee table and a beautifully worn antique. Both are great. It just depends on your style.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
So it's like choosing between a sleek, modern coffee table and a beautifully worn antique. Both are great. It just depends on your style.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
This has been so insightful. But with all this info, how would you guide someone who's completely lost in the cutting board aisle?
It really comes down to what matters most to you in the kitchen. Like, if you're all about that eco-conscious life, we talked about bamboo being a total rock star.
Right, with the fast growth and carbon-absorbing superpower.
Exactly. So if you're minimizing your footprint, bamboo is the way to go, for sure.
It's like driving the electric car of cutting boards.
Haha, I love that. But don't forget, a well-sourced wood board is still a good eco-friendly choice, especially if you're thinking long-term, you know?
Right, because a good wood board can last forever.
Exactly. Less waste overall.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between renewable resources and products that last. Now, for all the knife nerds out there, what's the best way to protect their precious blades?
Oh, for those folks, wood, hands down, especially end grain. It's like a gentle cradle for your knives.
So no more dreading those sharpening sessions.
Exactly. It really minimizes the wear and tear.
Music to a chef's ears. But what about those of us who, well, let's just say we're not exactly known for our elaborate kitchen routines?
The low maintenance types.
Yeah, exactly. What's the best option for us?
Then bamboo's your new best friend. It's naturally antimicrobial, laughs in the face of water damage, and only needs a little oil every now and then.
The ultimate set it and forget it cutting board.
Pretty much. Durable, stylish, and no drama.
I can get behind that. But what about those who love that classic rustic vibe in their kitchen?
For those folks, it's gotta be wood, right?
Yeah, there's just something so warm and inviting about it.
Exactly. It brings that warmth, that history, and no two pieces are the same. It's like having a piece of nature right on your countertop.
And that patina just adds to the charm, right? Like a
Yeah.
story etched into the wood.
Absolutely. It's a testament to all the meals shared and memories made in the kitchen.
Well, I have to say, Extra Speaker, you've opened my eyes to a whole world of cutting board possibilities. Who knew there was so much to consider?
It's amazing how something so simple can be so complex, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's about finding the board that feels right for you, for your kitchen, and for your cooking style.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, there you have it, folks. The ins and outs of choosing the perfect cutting board. Armed with all this knowledge, you're ready to make an informed decision and find the board of your dreams.
Happy chopping, everyone!
And until next time on your deep dive, happy cooking.
At nourishingtapestry.store we have a large range of bamboo cutting boards. Thanks for watching. Check us out at nourishingtapestry.store. Like, subscribe.